it gives it a luxury in a sense. I tell people I'm not a luxury agent. I don't want to be.
Right.
I'm here for the working class man, but
A hundred
I
percent.
still give you the service of a luxury agent. I still treat you
Right.
like your house is $1 million listing.
A
Because to
hundred
me,
percent. Because you're important as a person.
absolutely,
Like
right?
you matter. You're
Okay,
you're
it's not about
valuable.
the check.
Yeah.
I really am a relationship dude, and I'll be real if I can keep it real. Am I allowed to keep it
Right.
real?
A
Here?
hundred percent. Always.
Back in my old life,
Right.
I used to tell people when I was in the streets,
Right.
doing the most. I used to tell people I was never a jack boy.
Right.
Why? Because I'd rather work with you 100
Right.
times, get you 100 of these, 100
Right.
of those,
Right.
and you go back east and do your thing, and me
Right.
just then work with you once.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So I'm a relational dude.
100%.
I would much rather say, hey, dude, I hooked you up, you hooked me up.
Right.
Let's keep working together.
Right.
Let's keep building this foundation. So,
What a good testimony though, because those relationships teach you people early,
mhm.
and you find out in that realm that there are a lot more people that their character goes south, and so
absolutely.
you learn who to cut off, not early, and you learn to read people now.
Discernment.
You know the instinct
Yes.
right away of like this dude's either a snake or not, and
He's either good or no good.
now I will tell you that like at least now when you don't have to be afraid of a snake. You just know a snake's a snake.
I just know how to
That's-
move.
That's it.
Yeah.
Like if I'm in the snake pit, I just know how I'm walking.
Yep. Right.
That is
Amen.
100%.
Yeah, because they're everywhere.
Right.
Right. In every realm of life.
Right, and you
I
can't be
tell-
afraid of it.
There's no honor among thieves, right?
Right.
And I don't care what nobody tells me. I've walked with some
Right.
some heavy hitters, and there's no loyalty.
Right.
At the end of the day,
No matter
and
what.
No, not in the old lifestyle
way.
I used to live, unfortunately. And so, with that being said, yeah, you got to know how you're walking and who you're walking around, right?
And it's that's hard. I think I personally learned not to put my faith into a man other than God.
Amen to that one.
and it's just because of what you said and the
Yeah.
way you said it right now is
Yeah.
that no matter what, like out of human instinct, nature, whatever it is, like they will always fall short of the glory of God.
The Bible even tells us that to not put and I tell people, I am a biblical man, but it took me a lot of trial to
Right.
get to be where
Right,
I'm
right.
at now. I was for a long time a knucklehead, so I don't push that on anybody, and
Right.
I like to put that disclaimer out. I'm just like everybody else. But it's very clear in those in its writings,
Right.
and what it means in those in context. I tell people we can't take it out of context,
Right.
and that's something that often we do as humans. But it's very clear in what it states.
Or try to make it fit the mold of where you can still justify the way you see it, which is you're saying the same thing, but you're like it's cool until like a certain amount of things have to come up, or I have to like quit something or something that's serving me,
Yeah.
right? Like I'm about it until I'm up in the fire.
That's one of those. I think I've done it my whole life. I've taken it to fit my context, my
Right.
narrative.
Right.
And that's any book you read.
Right.
I don't care if you're reading. I'm not a sci-fi dude, but let's just say Lord of the Rings.
Right.
I can take it out of context to
Right.
fit a narrative that I wanted to
Right.
make. Right. That doesn't mean the author had intended that.
Right.
So that's perspective. And
It does go show
Life
that
is.
life is perspective on.
I always say
and
that.
that's why it's important to see a person where they're at, because you're just trying to see how they're viewing it based off of, like, when I tell you the story of 9 high school, 6 years, like, you're like, damn, that's a lot, bro.
That's
But like
crazy.
it also comes with coming out, like I had a lot of climbing to even get there. And the 9th high school, Palo Verde, like being able to graduate as a super senior at that time,
Especially,
like
I
it's
mean, and
2
that's-
years deep.
That school has its own
Right.
issues, right?
100%. And I had to put a lot of like, let's say, like, when the test came, I had to push myself to stay reserved, not want to go fight, not
Well,
want to like,
you
and-
couldn't either.
because it was my last straw. And
Not only that, but
I-
you were an adult.
right, and I was an adult.
So some of the
right.
yeah, because you just
What do I have to prove? Like, I already know. I've already put my numbers up to a triple digit.
Yeah,
that
yeah.
If we put hands together, like, I'm gonna take care of it.
I'm gonna do what I gotta do.
100%. And sometimes now I even know, like, I don't have to prove it to anybody, whether we're in the gas station or
that's-
something's going on. Like, I move a lot more quiet.
Meekness is not weakness.
100%.
And I often tell people I was that guy, right?
Right.
And my testimony, when I share it, I call it's masks,
Right.
I had so many masks, and
Right.
I had to be the tough guy.
Right.
Now I tell people, a soldier. I have friends that are cousins who are special forces, elite soldiers.
Right.
You can walk up to these dudes and call them anything you want.
Right.
this dude is not gonna do a darn thing to you.
Right.
You could probably spit on this dude, and he's not gonna put your hands on him
Right.
or threaten his family.
Right.
Okay, but the meekness he will show in order to not to
Right.
reserve himself from
Right.
not going to prison or not, because
Right.
he's a deadly weapon.
Right.
That man hits you, he can kill you.
Right.
You and I could too, but he's trained to do
Right.
so. So when I tell people that when a soldier's able to control himself, you
Right.
call that weak?
Right.
No, I call that you better be scared of that man, because he has the ability to harness. That's a you and I are both, we're wrestlers, we're
Right.
gladiators.
Right.
When you have the ability to harness that,
Right.
boy, be careful of that. I was
Right.
always the guy that was so willing to go. Now that I'm the guy that sits back a little
Right.
bit, in that essence, like, I won't pop off, but don't get it twisted.
Right. I teach my girls.
I'm saved. I'm not soft.
100%.
Don't get it twisted.
100%.
'Cause I know Jesus. I'll introduce you
Right.
to him real quick. Don't get it wrong,
Bro, we keep the motto in the house, and I'm raising 3 daughters.
Ooh,
and
3
so
girls.
they have the mindset that it's better to be a warrior in a garden than a gardener in a war. So they're all training wrestling. They're knowing what to look for in a male, because I'm doing the best that I can. I'm
Man,
setting the
that's
table.
beautiful right
Setting the
there,
table.
because and I'm actually just now getting to the spot where I'm about to put my kids into athletics, and they're going
time.
MMA.
Yeah.
And with my career shift, things were tough,
Yeah.
but I'm believing, and the Lord's showing me some fruit, and
Right.
it's one of those things that more so I teach people. I lost my leg when I was 18 to a
Right.
drunk driver, and what helped me persevere was those days in the 101-degree wrestling room,
Right.
pushing, fighting, finding out who I was made of and what
Right.
I was made of, to find out my character.
Right.
So when it came time to go through 15 operations and constant just
Right.
battles, it was like, bro, you know what your heart's made
You've
of,
already
homie.
overcome
I've
hard stuff.
Homie, check
Right.
yourself real
Right.
quick. Like, look deep, and remember that time
Right.
you were throwing up on the mat and,
Right.
broken fingers and
Right.
bloody nose? Like, it helped.
Right.
It definitely. So I teach, and I believe, I tell people all the time, if it wasn't for the Lord in sports, I
Right.
would be definitely in prison for a long, long time, or
Right.
dead, because I was just, sports gave me a sense of character
Right.
and discipline,
Right.
and let me know who I was
Right.
deep down. Especially wrestling, you're a one-on-one. I can't tag team
There's
you, man.
no one's gonna come save you.
There's not 10 other dudes like a
Right.
football. Football was fun,
Right.
but guess what? I had 10 teammates to
Right.
pick up my slack.
The wins are yours. The losses are yours too.
Period.
Yeah.
And yeah, team wins and team losses matter.
Right.
At the end of the day, what's
It's-
remembered is your record.
Because when you're looking in the mirror, it's the evidence that you built for yourself. And a lot of
Amen.
times you get down on a bad shot, or you don't build yourself up. You're gonna build evidence whether you like it or not.
Period.
It's either gonna serve you or not serve you.
What's it gonna do?
Right. So you got to outweigh
Yep.
getting in the fire and coming out of the fire. So
Amen.
that way, when you get there again, you're like, man, I was down on this shot before,
Yeah.
and here I am again.
Yeah.
So even with career changes,
Opportunity.
all that stuff, like, that's what those moments teach you, is that, like, oh damn, I've been down before. This is how I build out of it. Weirdly
Amen.
enough, when I get down, even if it's just my energy or whatever it is, I start getting back into a wrestling mindset. Like, I start moving my body. I'm like paying attention to, like,
Yeah.
I'm thinking, like, all right,
More here.
I have to be intentional in my life right now. I gotta figure
Amen.
this out.
And
Gotta come up.
I believe in that wholeheartedly. I really do believe wholeheartedly that, especially that sport,
Right.
and not to say any other sport doesn't, but just from my experience,
Right.
I can say that I've raced BMX, I've played football, I've wrestled, I've played organized soccer, basketball. Nothing
Right.
like wrestling has ever taught me, like, who I am as a man.
100%.
Where, and I don't mean, as far as I tell people all the time, meekness is not weakness.
Right.
This doesn't mean picking you up and slamming you on your
Right.
face. This means when I go through the trials and tribulations
Right.
of life, can I buckle down? Can I get in my stance and say, okay, let's go?
Right.
To me, I've had some crazy days. It's the enemy.
It's a crazy trust builder too. Like, I still roll with men 6 a.m. Tuesday, Thursday, Sundays, and if you want to trust a man, you go roll with them.
Mhm.
Like, you
Amen.
fill them out, because if you can get through that, whatever barriers you would have having coffee with the person,
Or
selling
a
yourself to a
business.
person,
Yeah,
right?
right.
You go through and work with them, you see how they're pushing through things. It's like, all
Mhm.
right, I can get down with this dude, because you're in a
Absolutely.
trench together.
Yes, sir.
I'm on the verge of throwing up. You're on the verge of throwing up, and if you're pushing through stuff and you still have a
Your
positive attitude,
character,
when things go south, how you do anything is how you do everything. So if it's
everything.
gonna
Amen.
work out,
How
and
you
you're
do
gonna
anything is how you do everything.
and if
I
you
love
push
it. Yep.
through it, here, then you're gonna push through it there.
Period.
And half the stuff we do out there is gonna be nothing compared to what we're experiencing right now.
No, amen. And
Having a
that's,
hard conversation compared to
I'm sure you're a wrestling coach. I just
100%.
heard my
Yep.
coach
Yep.
in that statement, right? I just
Right.
heard Coach Niblo tell
Yep.
there's ain't nothing in life gonna test you like this
Right.
is, and I might beg to differ with what I've been through, but it definitely set me up for a path of resilience.
Right.
I won't even call it success because success is measured to each man
Right.
as his own, and
Right. It's how you feel when
I feel I'm successful right
right.
now.
100%. You breathing?
I made it
Right.
I made it out of hell and I'm
Right.
breathing, bro. So
Right.
therefore I'm successful and but yeah, it's definitely helped.
That's one of the things we're working on with the kids at home too, is the like gratitude. And sometimes we got to go back to the basics, just like the same way you would in wrestling, going back to shots or a drill.
Just technique.
It's we get back to a journal, piece of paper, and just write 10 things you're grateful for
Amen.
right
I
now. And
receive this from my household
yeah,
right now.
you
It's
just be grateful right now starts changing the energy.
I always tell people what I've learned when I first came out of rehab after my craziness was I didn't. I had to. My mindset was shifted to where I had an attitude of gratitude.
Right.
Period.
Right.
I don't care if it was the fact that I had a piece of toast. I was like,
Right.
man,
This is my toast. Yeah.
Lord, thank you for this piece of toast, and to the person who brought me the toast, thank you. And it
Right.
was just, and then when I started getting more into the Word and just reading the good book, I was like, okay, it states right here that
Right.
when you have that reflection, you get it's shifting
Right.
our neural pathways, right?
Right.
To say, oh, we're looking for the good in things, all
Right.
right? I'm going to be an optimist and not a pessimist. I'm
Right.
going to think about,
Right.
man, I was just telling my buddy right now, I'm going to go do, or I have to go do this podcast. I said, no, I get to
risk
go do this
right.
podcast,
It's an
right?
opportunity.
It's
Yeah.
a blessing
Right.
to be a part of another man's journey and
Right.
to be asked, and it's an honor. I said, so I always, when I accidentally shift, the,
Right.
I
You catch it. That's
my
part of growth, though.
my
You're
that's the
aware.
first way I started to transform my life
Right.
was right here.
Right. Because what you're putting out.
It's the rudder of the ship of life.
Right.
The rudder of a ship is so small, the Bible says, but it steers the entire ship.
Right.
This thing is so small, but it produces death or it produces life.
And think about it. If we're on a boat together and if your mouth is going south and I still have to get jobs done, like it could be so infectious. Like you're going to lead somebody whether you like it or not. So if you're pouring off that crazy
Mm.
energy, then I have to fight a whole nother battle listening to you at the same time, trying to pull an anchor up or trying to work a sail
Man,
or
if I
whatever
could
it
say
is.
that to the viewer real quick, because that's just one of those things. I think sometimes we need to hear. If you have that negative energy, or it's infectious and it's ugly.
Right.
It really
Right.
it's that black cloud.
Right.
I was just talking to a good friend of mine,
Right.
and he's a good businessman, and he
Right.
said, I deal with this person, and it's like they have that Winnie the Pooh black cloud that walks over Eeyore, and I was like, yes,
Yeah.
that right there, it's nobody wants to deal with that.
Right.
So therefore, if you have that energy or you feel yourself, man, take a moment, take a break.
Right.
Don't infect anybody else with your. We all got life.
Yeah.
You've got life, I've got life. You've got kids, we got bills and life. But don't take that on everybody else because life is hard enough. So that's just for somebody.
I think it's important to talk about that because for me, like the 9 high schools in 6 years, I know I brought
That's
that up. I brought
crazy,
that up
bro.
3 times now, and I
That's
think
nuts to me, though.
it's important to kind of like dial back on why I was even in a position where I had to run so much, or I felt that I had to run, and it's just because what I saw growing up is when things got tough, the people that I looked up to ran, or
Okay,
and
because everything we are is what we see.
right. And so I made meaning of the world based off the way I viewed it. So we were talking about perspective. And so when things got tough, the whatever fight it was, whatever conversations were
Mm.
going on, like I would bounce. I'd go find something fresh to start
Fight.
100%. And then so I was a lot more in flight at that moment.
Mm-hmm.
But it took a lot of forgiveness for me to forgive my dad, to forgive my mom, because in a way I felt that I got screwed over because they would
Yeah, absolutely.
there's events that happen where like mom would drop me off at school and not pick me up, and then when she didn't pick me up, I didn't feel lovable. I felt like
Abandonment.
something wrong was with me,
Yeah, of course.
and so then
it's the natural.
I'd be pissed. Or there's certain wrestling matches when my dad came out of jail and
Wasn't
he showed up and I hear him telling me to do something, and part of my mind says, "Where the hell you been?"
Who are you
Right.
to tell me anything right now,
where
bud?
how to do this. And so I'm pissed, and so when I lose, I kind of felt like I was getting back at him. So I was in this place of revenge, of like,
vengeance.
oh, I see you don't like that. You just sparked me up. I see that you don't like that. So I'm gonna put my
I'm gonna
effort in.
hurt you
I'm gonna get
'cause
you
you've
too.
hurt me.
I'm gonna get you too. Even though this feels weird for me going down, but at the same time, I'm gonna take you down with me. and you'll know.
And if the ship's gonna sink, you're gonna sink with it.
Yeah, and so with that, like I had to sit with my dad eye to eye
Mm.
later in life as a man
Mm.
and let him know what events came up for me, how they impacted my life. He
Absolutely.
expressed his story and where it came from with his parents, and I started to
Yes.
see the downfall
The
of
the
it.
generational
Right,
mishaps in
right,
life, and it's one of those things, bro, that because I've had it in my family, and this isn't. I like, and I tend to remind people that we're never alone
right,
because the reason I have my podcast is I tell people everyone has a story and someone
right,
needs to hear yours,
right,
right? And it's the fact of just knowing that you're not alone in this
right,
situation, right? Because there's other people who have faced that exact same thing, but
right,
knowing that it comes from where my dad used to always have a saying, "I'm doing the best with what I've been taught."
right,
His father was MIA
right,
after 10,
right,
so he's like, "What do you? With what I've been taught, I didn't
right.
have a dad, so
You're
I'm
already
trying to.
winning because
I'm here."
you're 15.
I'm
That's
freaking
5
here,
years
bro.
of
Yeah, yeah. You
right,
already have 5 more years than I have with my
right, right.
dad. Like, and I'm here in your life, and I
Right,
show up to most of your stuff, and but it's just those generational things.
right,
So I commend you
right,
for sitting down with your father
right,
because what that's going to do is it's going to heal your
right,
wounds. Because one thing I tell people, we all men.
right,
I've sat down in prisons and given and sat with men
right,
that are doing 10
right,
life sentences,
right, right,
and all the way to guys that have never had a parking ticket,
right.
right? And I've sat down with women the same. We all have a little child inside of us.
100%.
And the moment that we put down the masks and the facades that are going on around us and remind ourselves that we are a little boy or a little girl inside who's unhealed and is broken, I tell people all the time, I'm still a broken man because I'm still healing.
That's me.
My boy was rocking the mullet before mullet
In
was
my pocket.
mullet,
There you go.
bro.
So don't say you had it first, but I'm hearing you is that sometimes I gotta go remind that kid to show up for him.
Because this kid is still there.
Right.
I see him right now
Right.
in this conversation we're having,
100%.
right? And that's okay.
Yeah.
Because as a man, we haven't been, and it's such a, to me, it's disgusting
Right.
almost that we haven't been taught it's okay to heal. It's
Right.
okay to love yourself,
Right.
and not in the way the world says, "Oh, I get girls." Not.
No.
I'm talking. It's okay to love you as a human and love this guy
Right.
because he's cute. He matters, right? This
Right.
guy matters,
Right.
and this guy wouldn't be where he is, who he is, unless this guy was first.
Right.
Right. So how do I? When I used to ask myself, I had a long bout with addiction after losing my leg, and I'd get these spurts of freedom, and I was like, man, okay, I've been sober for 30 days, 60 days, like, and then boom, I'd fall back.
Right.
So my last time, I hit my knees and I just cried out on my face, and had many times before, but I said, Lord, like, what draws me back to there? And I call it self-therapy. Once I sat in rehab and I had I've sat in jail for, little bits of time and had some isolation, but once I had this time just to reflect, okay, Ryan, you're an onion.
Right.
Peel those layers
Right.
back because everything you are today, every decision you make today comes from somewhere. Where's the toxic? Oh, my whole life was toxic.
Right.
My mother did her, runs with partying. My dad was
Right.
the party supplier.
Right.
So
Right.
we had a toxic and crazy life, and I had to go back to like that little boy like you.
Right.
So I just encourage. I
Right.
will never tell nobody what to do. I just encourage folks.
Right.
Go back there.
Right.
And start to really dig deep at what needs to be healed,
Right.
what needs to be blanketed.
Right.
You can't cover things up, right? But what needs to be blanketed with some healing. And I need to look at little Stefan and say, okay, damn, that sucks that dad
Right.
was away.
Right.
And no, it then leads to a sense of abandonment in our relationships.
Right.
Let's keep it real. That's one of the reasons I bounced around from chicks to chicks to chicks to chicks was because
Right.
there was that feeling of worthiness was in being accepted.
Right.
Because I didn't want you to leave. Everybody had always left, right, in my life. And so it was, how do I keep?
Right.
It's just it's the same identity as a hoarder.
Right.
I have a brother and a stepmother who are homeless, or one is still facing homelessness, and it's like they hoard what they have, the little
Right.
bit they have. Well, guess what? Because they don't know when they're going to get more.
Right.
Right. It's the same reason why I used to hold people so
100%.
close. Is 'cause I don't know if you're going to leave me, so
100%.
I had to heal those codependencies. I had to heal those spots in my life in order to get the freedom.
And I think what's important to understand about that too is that if you don't cross those bridges within yourself on knowing where those events came from, because
Amen.
it's an event,
Yes,
right?
sir.
The
Yes.
event happened,
It did.
and then your young mind made a meaning of the event.
Yes,
Okay,
sir.
when I do this, this is the result that I get.
Mm-hmm.
So then you
Categorize it.
just the same as when you're hoarding people or whatever it is.
Mm-hmm.
Then I was acting out of character as an adult already of saying yes to things, and then because I didn't want you to leave me, I didn't want you to dislike me. So
Yes.
I was out
People
of
please.
my true
Yes,
self,
sir.
people pleasing, so that way people would like me.
Would stay.
I didn't want them to leave.
Right.
Other than standing in my own 2 feet, my yeses be yeses, my noes be noes. Like
Amen.
a lot more of what I can do now. Like
Yes, sir.
before, I was living a whole different out of events, out of
Yes,
not
sir.
wanting to be hurt. So I was living out of scarcity, out of not wanting to be hurt versus as it's okay to be hurt.
Man, that's one thing I think that if y'all heard that, say that again for the people in the back. It's okay, right? I think we're often, especially as men. I can't speak for a woman because I
Right.
never walked in a woman's shoes,
Right,
right? I
right.
tell people that I'm a man. That's all I can speak of. But it's okay
Right.
to take that time, and it's okay to say, you know what? Some people don't agree with this, but I'm like that Jelly Roll song.
Right.
I am not okay.
Right.
When that song came out, I was in an I'm not okay situation, and so I'm a musical dude. I
Right.
love music. And I believe it's one of those things where it's like, hey, it's okay
Right.
to not be okay. I
Right.
had, like doesn't mean you shouldn't speak life into the situation and say I'm going to be okay.
Right.
But there's times to say, you know what, dude,
This
I'm
is what
having
it is.
I'm having a freaking off day.
Right.
Life's hard. I
Right.
tell people all the time, like your boy gets up and has to put a prosthetic leg on. There's
Right.
times that I'm like, man, I'm
tired of this.
I'm tired, bro.
Right.
But we fight on. But
Right.
it's okay to say,
Right.
bro, I tell my ministry team and hey, I'm tired too.
Right.
Like we have to be okay with saying, hey,
Right.
I'm not a superhero. I'm a human.
Right.
And it's okay to look at yourself that way,
Right.
right? Like we're taught we have to be strong.
It's because you take a picture like that and you go back and like, what would you tell that boy? Like, it's like,
Ooh.
I'm tired. I got this. Like, it's okay.
Yeah.
You gonna be all right.
How would you
How would
hold
you
him
and how would you present that conversation? So would you do it the way that you do it in the mirror? Like, would you be so hard on yourself? Would you like? How would
that's
you?
a good one.
How would you do that? How would you give that hug?
Mm,
When those tears came, would you be like, "Oh, you're being a little boy right now. You're being a girl."
Man.
Like,
see,
or
the Holy Spirit. Sometimes the Lord just uses things. Right now, I'm like, I have to, for myself, and then also as our children.
right,
Because I'm a father to 6 altogether,
Right.
4 in my house still, and I got to remember that
Right.
as a father,
right,
And it's to be accountable. I'm not perfect. I
Right.
make mistakes as a father, as a husband, as a child, and I got to remember that one day they're gonna be. Now, maybe not sitting here,
Right.
but sitting in a situation as an
Right.
adult, and they're gonna say, "Man, like what was said or what was done or how was I, treated in this situation that brought up these years of feelings."
And I think those conversations are so important to have with the kids, whether they're ready or not, because you don't know when your clock is up. 2 weeks later, after I had that conversation with my daddy, died.
Mm. Mm. But because I hate saying but and with although think about what that did for your, I guess the healing that you have
I started podcasting after I started talking about it.
because you were able to gain. Now I tell people I learned from a very wise man. Sometimes we won't get closure,
Right.
but you were able to get
Right.
some type of closure.
I did. I got that understanding of where it came from him, so I didn't realize he was the problem.
You were no longer looking at him as the problem. You were
Right.
looking at the problem as the problem.
Right.
And that was the generational
100%.
things, right, that have happened
100%.
that were done unto him.
Right.
So what did he do? Turn around and did him again.
And maybe half of it, just like you mentioned with your dad, like with, hey, I'm here another 5 years extra.
Yeah.
Like he ate up 50% of it, passed down 50% of it, and now I'm doing the same thing.
Mm.
But don't get me wrong, it doesn't come back where I hear the girls fighting in the house, and even though it kind of scares me, it brings me back to being a kid, but my first instinct is to want to raise my voice and get louder, because when you get louder,
You get heard.
you get heard, or the problem even goes away. It's like, all right, I'll
There-
stop talking, and then if I can get the problem to go away, then it starts to diffuse.
Of course.
Is that the right way to do it? That's not, but it doesn't mean that I don't feel it when it comes up. And just going back to like us being an onion, do the problems ever go away? No,
No.
they come back of when we're peeling back that onion. What is the actual root? When I spent solitude time, I figured out that it's a few things. I'm not worthy. I
Right.
don't feel enough.
Right.
I don't feel like lovable.
Loved
It's
or
all
lovable.
the same words, but they're
Mm-hmm.
tying back to something. Then I had to figure out, all right, so every time this comes up, because it happens 1,800 times a day sometimes,
Right.
other
Right.
times 18 times a day.
Right.
But when it comes up, how do I handle it? Because I can't let it run my life
It's
anymore.
how we deal with the
Right.
situation, right? How we cope with it.
Right.
That's all. And
Sometimes it's
we
spending
weren't
time with
taught
him
that,
real quick. It's looking in the mirror and being like, I'm enough. I'll run through a list of affirmations
man.
just to
And
take my mind off of that feeling.
and that's okay
Right.
because we're not taught that.
Right.
At least I wasn't.
Right.
I wasn't. I didn't have a horrible childhood. Not. No, I had my counselor once told me I had a couple. Uh, Rehab, you only have. I had a couple therapy sessions, and she said, "Ryan, stop comparing your stuff to somebody else's,
Right.
because yours is yours and theirs is theirs."
Right.
Because I was like, I haven't been molested like some of these people,
Right. Right.
as far as I know. Like I
Right.
didn't have
You're
all.
still comparing.
And
Right.
she was like, "Stop."
Right.
Because you grew up in a crazy
Right.
situation, Ryan. Like yours is yours and theirs is theirs. So understanding that, like we each have our own traumas, and our life is our life,
Right.
and it's our life,
Right.
and it's on us, especially as adults,
Right.
even if we weren't taught. If we're going to take control of our lives, is to walk through those. Tell people you can't get over, you can't get under, and you
Right.
can't get around a situation, especially a trauma. You got to go through that thing,
Right.
and it's our job now as an adult to heal that, or
And
else we're gonna keep bleeding on other people.
right. And I think it's important to tie it together on find the way that you need to find the stories
Right.
of where the events came from in your life. Like whatever that means.
Write 'em
of
down.
Solitude, write them down
Whatever it
through
takes.
therapy. Like
Whatever,
however you need
whatever.
to find out that like, oh, I didn't realize that I made this meaning based off this event.
And I've tied it to so many.
And I've used it the rest of my life. So
Amen.
now that I found the event, and then I talked to my mother or I talked to my father, because I've
Whoever
had
it
both
was.
those conversations,
Right?
and because I needed it. Like
For you.
I was tired of his sanity doing the same thing, the same
expecting a
patterns,
different result.
and I just couldn't. I didn't want to live anymore like that.
Amen.
I had to figure out
You
how to fix
took-
it.
But that's where you took charge.
Right.
You had to realize there was a problem.
Right.
And say, okay, what now? What steps must I take
Right.
to get to the end of this problem?
Right.
And that's that's one of those things that I tell people is the best thing we can do for our lives.
Right.
Especially as men, because we're leaders.
Right.
And I wasn't, I do have a father that was in my life,
Right.
but at the same time, it's like having to teach myself things at 40 years old.
Right.
I'll keep it real. I tell
Right.
people I keep it transparent. I was just talking to my wife the other day, and it's like I don't know how to be a husband.
Right.
My father's been married 4 times.
Right.
My mother's been married 3 or 4 times. I don't know what a healthy relationship is. Let's keep it 1,000. Her parents been married for 44 years.
Right.
And
Right.
her grandparents have all
It's
were
easier
married.
stability.
Yeah, yes. And I
Right.
told it's funny because when I was in my crazy situation, I used to tell dudes, they were like, "Oh, look at that girl." I'm like, "Bro, no, she's got more problems than I do. I need a chick that has at least a stable foundation, because
Right.
I've got enough problems for 2 people." You know
100%.
what I mean? So, but it's like I don't know what it's like
Right.
to be a good husband,
Right.
and I'm definitely trying.
Right.
And I want to be a good example. I want my sons to see different in me than I saw in my father. That's the generational curse I want to break.
Right.
Although I'm not with my children's mother, with the relationship that I'm in now with my wife Christy, is the fact that I'm moving in a positive manner.
Right.
I want my kids to see, okay, Dad's fallen,
Right.
and a righteous man can fall, but he got back up, and
Right.
now he's living his life like this, and he stayed with. Once he made the decision to live his life right and righteously, he
Right.
stayed with that woman.
Right.
Even through the battles.
Right.
Right. And I don't know how.
Right.
To me, I'm like you, bro. I've been through so many schools. I moved from here to Pittsburgh, back and
Right.
forth, from here to Pittsburgh,
Right.
During my middle school years. So I know how to fight,
Right.
and I know how to flight.
Right.
I don't really know how to freeze.
Right.
It's never been my thing. It's
Yeah.
fight or flight. I'm either
Right.
running or I'm fighting. And it's led into my adult life. And I had to
100%.
figure out, okay, Ryan, how do you not just flight?
Right.
Or how do you not just fight?
Right.
How do you train yourself to be a warrior?
Right.
And a warrior can sometimes shut up. Right? A warrior can sometimes know, hey, I was just talking to God the other day. He's like, some things need to be said, but not
Right.
by you.
Right.
All right. So it's not my place. I'll just shut my mouth then.
One thing when I wrestle a role with somebody who's like high level, one thing I see in them is they get straight to the point in things. Like when
And
if they're gonna close an artery, they're going straight for it.
it's not
And
gonna beat
there's
around the
no
bush.
like dance to it. There's nothing special. It's just
Hmm.
straight to the point. And that's something that I see that like when you're moving in meekness like that and you're just straight up
You're a
a
ninja.
straight shooter
Yeah, yeah.
for everything. And if you can bleed that on is like that's what's an attractive trait to me. When I
Absolutely.
see people, it's like, all right, that's that's what I want to mirror a-
Amen. It,
and just get straight after it. There's
and
no
or work
show.
with,
Right.
right?
100%. You want to be
Like,
around that kind of people.
it,
That's the energy.
and I can appreciate it.
Right.
Me as a new agent, new real estate agent, I had a conversation with an agent I'm working a deal with the other day, and
Hmm.
he kind of came off. He's a younger dude, so we can have a vibed every conversation prior has been pretty vibed, and we've
Right.
been cool. And but he came off very condescending and
Hmm.
very matter of fact,
Hmm.
and his tone changed. And I said, "Hey," I hung up the phone. Then I had to call him back to answer a question from one of his documents, and I said, "Hey, bud, real quick, let me talk to you if I can, man to man, agent to agent.
Uh-huh.
I want to let you know that I didn't appreciate this, and this.
Right.
Like to me, I'm a man. And I'm a good man. So I
Right.
like to work on the same team. We're not on different
Right.
teams here. We're both trying to get two clients
Right.
to the same finish line.
Same finish line, same
Regardless,
result.
we're not
Right.
against each other here. It's not
Right.
about you versus me, bro.
Right.
It's how can we help each other to
Right.
help our clients. Essentially, that's our job.
Right.
But I'm not going to tolerate any type of condescending or disrespectful
Right.
tone or talk. Moving forward, I'm going to let you know that I'm bringing it to your attention because I believe if I don't, then it'll breed a resentment
Right.
where I'll therefore no longer want to work with you.
Right.
I came to you.
Right.
You work for a new home builder. I can
Right.
find 100 of you guys.
100%.
So therefore, I'm trying to keep my working relationship with you. And I feel like if we don't have this important conversation,
It won't work.
then moving forward, we won't have a
Right.
conversation because I won't work with you.
It's kind of like what you talked about earlier too of like do you want to burn a bunch of stuff or do you want to build relationships? And so like that other lifestyle teaches you things like that.
Yes.
Like if you just burn and turn for this $1, that's a scarcity mindset versus an abundant mindset.
Amen.
And now you put yourself in an abundant mindset because you can nip something in the bud,
Right.
have a conversation and build. A lot of times, isn't it weird like when you were a kid and sometimes the person you didn't like at first turns out to be your best
Isn't
friend?
that so funny? Because most of
Exactly
your
it.
best friends you didn't like at first.
Exactly it, but you have a hard conversation, or
And it
sometimes you fist fight it out. Who knows
right,
what it is?
right.
But then all of a sudden, everything's changed. You're
For the
cool.
next 20 years,
You're
you're
cool.
absolutely. And
It's
it's so funny because that's literally what I told him. I said I believe that these hard conversations, I don't care what I take one. You can apply something from one aspect of life into all aspects.
100%.
How you and I have a hard
Right.
conversation working a deal
Right.
together is how I'm most likely handle my hard conversations in my relationships
Right.
with my children, my wife.
100%.
It's who you are is who you
Right.
are no matter where you go,
So if you blow up on me there, then that's a whole different conversation. It's like, all right, if you're hot with me and I
bro.
haven't even been in your
And
life for
and we're
20
working.
minutes right
We're
now.
business.
Right.
We're working to business deal
Right.
together, right? You're probably not very
Right.
all together, so that's why I just came to him. But it's those in any
Right.
aspect of life in any arena, it's those hard conversations that I believe
Right.
build a foundation.
You know what I could appreciate too is that if you can be a lot more authentic. Just be authentic. I'll say it that way.
Yep.
Like be authentic. That way, if the heat does come out of a person here, at least you can see it and work on it. What's more of the snake like mindset is if you're super good with me, like over good
Yeah.
with me, but then you're a jerk at home. You know what I mean? Or you're a jerk as a dad.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
why is the family getting the rest of you and not the best of you? You know what I mean? So like,
Yeah. I
at
work on
least
that. I need to work on that.
at least if you're being an authentic person, then if you're having a hard time here and there, like it's cool because it's just all out in the open, and
Yeah.
you can start to address it and figure. And I don't mean you, I
No.
mean
Well, no. I received that.
the concept in general.
Period. And I received that. I believe. There's nothing in life is coincidence or
Right, right,
happenstance, right? It happens for a purpose. And I tell people, even on my podcast, when I'm sitting down with them, hey, something, the conversation we're having, you're feeding me some information
right,
I'm downloading
a
right now
hundred
because
percent,
it's for me.
right,
I got to get more intentional. It's hard,
right,
As
yep,
let's keep it real. As a man, as a human, as an adult, period. But as a man, I feel we have a lot on our shoulders,
right,
and trying to provide, and it's
right,
like trying to provide takes away time from the family.
right.
So it's like
It's
I
such
can't
a
win for losing,
it's
right?
such a double edged sword, and if there's anything that gets hot at my household, it is this mindset that I have that, and I need to go. The answer is to stay abundant that I can do and. So the word and not or. And so
Right?
sometimes I'll use the word or in my mind and it's how can I be here and go get feed our family? How can I be here and or go do that? So then I
Yeah,
turn
yeah,
it
yeah.
into or, but I can set it up in a way where I can spend time with my kids and make money. I just have to
Yes.
stay on that versus the
The
or.
or.
Because if I stay on the or, I get
Well,
resentful
you get
fast.
stuck.
I get
Yes.
resentful fast. If I get resentful fast, like I'm an open
You're
book.
giving
Like
them
it's
the
gonna come out
rest
in
and
my
not the
face. It's
best.
exactly it.
Right?
I'm gonna show it, and people are like,
I
not
see.
people, my family are like, "What's up with
I
this dude?
needed this today.
What's
You know
up with
what I'm
this
saying?
dude?"
So if one of y'all didn't need it, just know that I needed it. You
Yep.
know, that's one thing I've been hitting myself with lately is like getting up
Right.
earlier.
Right.
Ryan, like you know, pushing my. I just got some office space today. Praise
Yep.
God. You know
Yep.
what I'm saying? And it kind of gives me a. I work for a cloud brokerage,
Right.
so I work from home, and
Right.
it's my setup isn't ideal,
Right.
right? So, but it's creating that excuse. Well,
Right.
I can just wake up at
Right.
7:30 instead
Pressure's
of
really not on.
you
Right.
know. It's but now it's like no.
You got some expenses
I
on
got
you.
some expenses, I got some
Right.
overhead,
Right.
and then not to mention it just gives me that space
Right.
where I'm like, okay, I wake up, do my morning routine before.
Right.
Still, you know, I was a barber for 20
Right.
years, so I still went to the office. You know what I'm saying? So now that I'm not going to the office of the barber shop anymore, it's like I still got to put myself in that setting because it's mindset.
Right.
And I was just talking over with my wife, and I said, you know, it's one of those things that's a blessing. It came out to
Right.
me.
Right.
Couldn't find a better deal, essentially, but it gives me that space that I can now have
Right.
my production creativity,
Right.
and I can just have my space to be
Right.
able to create what I need to create.
I
And
think it's important to have, even as a man, like that forced pressure,
amen.
because now you
That's
got
what
to
we're built.
cover that nut and that nut.
Mm-hmm.
And if that's going on in the back of your head, like you don't have time to mess around. You don't
Amen.
have time to have thoughts that
Uh,
are going to be blocking because you
Correct.
got kids to take care of, and you have
Home
a
and then the office.
100%. And they're
Right.
all different
And it's
spaces on top,
okay.
and clients, and like all the things that it comes with it.
Mm-hmm.
And this career field is not an easy career field
Bro.
because you have to wear the hat as real estate, as dad, as husband, as um, marketer,
Yeah.
as sales rep, as like you have all the hats to wear, and you have to be good at all of them. Otherwise, one of them goes south,
They all go.
the whole thing the
Yep.
boat crashes. Like
Yep.
you miss something, and over time that can beat somebody up. So the fact that you have the morning routine down already and pushing towards that, even like that's the why on why do I need to get up earlier, because my kids wake up at 5:30, and if I don't get up and get moving before that, I miss the boat because the rest of the day is calling me.
Yeah.
I
Amen.
got clients at 7, they want me, and my kids are barely gonna leave the house by 7. So if I'm gonna make those two things work, then I got to take care of me first. But it's important to take care of me first because I'm important, even if I got to wake up earlier.
If somebody didn't hear that, man, you just dropped a knowledgeable nugget, and that's one of those things I had to tell myself. And I don't think we remind yourself, whoever watches this right now, remind yourself that you're important. I tell people that you matter, you're
Mhm.
important. We all want to be seen, heard, and felt.
Right.
Period. I don't care who you are, where you come from,
Right.
what your background is.
Right.
Nobody wants to walk into a crowd and have people walk away from them or reject them.
Right.
Nobody wants to be not accepted.
Right.
We all want to be loved. That's why people get into gangs.
Right.
It's just, my brother was in a gang. I used to tell him, like, I'll make money. I don't care if you're Crip, blood, brown, black, purple, green. You can be an alien. I'll make money with you, right? I didn't care. But people just want to be accepted.
Right.
That's all we want. Nobody wants rejection. We all just want to be accepted. That little boy, that little girl just wants that. So it's just loving that little kid, you know, and reminding ourselves that you are worthy, that you're loved, that you're special. I tell people when I'm ministering out, you know, I'm a pastor as well, and when I'm out in the streets and I'm ministering, I tell people, I can tell you God loves you, or call it your creator. I don't care
Right,
what you
right.
want to call it. I'm not here to debate. I don't debate with anybody. I'm not a religious man. I'm a spiritual man.
Right.
But I tell people, I can tell you you're special because there's
Right.
only one of you.
Right.
There's another Stefan. There might even be another Stefan. Is
Yeah.
your name Catalan?
Yep.
There might be another first, middle, and last name
Right.
of you, but he doesn't walk like you, doesn't talk like you, doesn't
Right.
act like you, doesn't
Right.
think like you. That's how you're special.
Right.
Because there's only one of you.
Right.
Right. So taking that value of I must be special, even if you don't think you are, and because there's only one of me, that means it's like okay. There's a lot of sneakerheads out there. If
Right.
Jordan only made a one-off shoe, how special would that shoe be? How
Right.
valuable would that shoe be? It would be almost, you know, invaluable as far as you couldn't put a price on it for how sneakerheads chase. That's how you're even more valuable than that to the creator, right? There's only one of you, so he loved you that much that he only made one version of you.
Right.
Right? That tells me I'm special.
And I think that's important for people to take away with the
Yes.
concept that life happens for you and not to you.
Mm-mm.
So it doesn't. The fact that it happened for you makes you even more special
Yes.
because that's your testimony to build you
Yes.
to the person that you need
Yes.
to be, so you can share it. You can use it for the times that you need it, get back to track fast, and you can share it because there's somebody else that
It needs it.
needs
Amen.
that's walking somewhere along the same lines or might walk those same lines.
And
And because you've already walked it, you can help guide them.
you know, that's one of those things that's my story might be somebody else's survival map.
Right.
You know, how I
100%.
trek through something. I tell people, and I've learned that. That's why I speak on what I've been through.
Right.
I don't, yes, I was in a crazy lifestyle for
Right.
a lot of years, and that has made me the man I am today
Right.
because I was produced under the pressure and the weight. Where are diamonds produced?
Right.
Not on the top of the
Pressure.
earth, underneath the freaking compounding weight of the world.
Right.
Right. So that's where I was. It's where the diamond
Right.
in you.
Right.
It was those 9 schools in 6 years. It
Right.
was dad being MIA
Right.
when you needed him most.
Right.
It sucks, but there's a reason God allowed you to go through that. He didn't
Right.
make it happen. I tell people all the time, please stop crediting God for what
Right.
the devil has done.
Right.
People tell me all the time, well, God took my mom. No, he didn't. God doesn't know anything hurt, no
Right.
pain.
Right.
So therefore, you have an adversary, which is the devil.
Right.
So stop crediting God. I hear it all the time. Oh, I hate God because he took my
Right,
grandma.
right.
No, he didn't.
Right.
God did not, he didn't create death. Actually, sin created death.
Right.
So with that being said, put your energy to hating the devil and change your life a little bit.
Right.
Or like let's quit crediting. If I was God, I'd be a little pissed off. Like, wait, y'all keep blaming me for the things this
Right.
guy's done. You know what I mean? Like that's not, so that's just switching the mindset.
And it's important because you got to take those quote unquote losses and turn them into lessons. And
Amen.
if you don't find the lessons, you're never going to
Messing the
create the win.
message,
Right.
period.
You got to create the
You
win
have
out
to.
of it.
Or, I mean, I shouldn't say you have to because it's one of those things I tell people. I won't tell you what you have to do. I'll tell you what you should do or what you could do, what I did. And if you have if you don't have to, and then you can see where it takes you,
Right.
or you can
Right.
and see where it takes you.
I think this is my belief towards the concept. Is like I believe you have to, for the sake of this, is that
I believe you have to. I'm
if-
just saying I won't tell anybody because
exactly
it's up to them.
But this is what I'm saying. If we're put on this planet here, and God was broken out as an acronym that we're either growing or dying. That if you don't, then you're gonna put yourself in decay.
Mhm.
But if you do and you find the wins, create a positive life out of it, then you're gonna stay in growth.
Amen.
And if you
Every
stay in
time.
growth, do you feel better?
Yeah, and you produce.
Right. And then if you don't,
A good
you're in
tree
decay.
produces good
Right.
fruit.
And I think when you stop bringing value to the world and you stop sharing, it gets rid of you. It's just a matter of time before
I can agree. I can agree with that.
before it all balances out.
Yeah.
You're either helping or hurting.
Right?
And if when you stop helping, is when it all
Yeah. And that's essentially that's the realm of life right there. It's if you're not helping, you're hurting.
Right.
And that's any situation.
Right.
Like, find a way to be more, and that's a problem with humans, especially these days. We're
Right.
so here.
right,
We're so
Right.
me.
right, right,
Don't worry about. I
Yeah,
got my own thing going
Right.
on, bro. That
Right.
stop.
right,
Love somebody real quick.
Right.
That's one of the biggest things I try to tell people is it costs me nothing if I don't know you and I see you at Circle K and I see you with your head down. I can just. We're not ignorant. Most people aren't stupid. You can tell if somebody's having a bad day.
right,
You can tell if somebody's having a bad season.
right,
Hey, bro, smile. That's all going to be okay. You have no idea
right.
what what to me
That
or
little-
to some I should say will say that's stupid. That stupid thing.
Right.
I could have uplifted your spirits
Right.
because you were just thinking about the worst.
Right.
I heard a message one time. A man was in New York. This is a true story. He lived in New York City, woke up one morning and was tired of life and said, he wrote a note, walked out of his apartment 2 miles to the nearest bridge. This is morning walking traffic in New York City. So thousands and thousands of people. Walked to the bridge 2 miles from his house. By the time he got to the bridge, he jumped. They go to his house to do, his family goes to his apartment to gather his belongings. And on the coffee table it says, I feel like I'm alone. If just one person stops and says hello to me or gestures to me, I will not jump. So this man walked 2 miles in New York. So I know he passed hundreds of people. And all he was looking for was what's up, bud? A nod of the head, a hello, somebody to acknowledge him.
Right.
And he would have felt enough. It doesn't take anything. And we don't know what the Newton's law reaction would be, right, to me just being positive with somebody. We don't know what that person's planning. We don't know. So I just encourage folks, man, be
Yeah.
a good human. It sounds so cliche, but
Right.
be a good freaking human.
It's tough, man, too, because there's also this idea of like, and it's hard to do it while you're in the fire, and that's
Of
when if we were
course.
having this conversation with somebody who's going down through it. It is hard to see it. I mean, it is.
Oh, I'm a pastor. I
Right.
get it.
One way I'll help with that idea is that take your hand let's go with your, let's go with that hand, and then we're gonna go counterclockwise, like that. Yep, and then we're gonna bring it down, and then you're gonna look down at it, and which way is it going?
Counterclockwise
Nah, think about it again.
or clockwise?
It's going clockwise. Did you change what you were doing?
No.
No, you changed the way that you were looking at it.
Change the perception, the
Right.
view.
The viewpoint of what you were looking at it. So at the same token,
That's a good one.
the same token is that like it's in the mindset on the way that you're looking at it, and at the same time, like sometimes I'm going down and I'm running or walking the loop, and if I'm going down through it, I'll start waving at people. And a lot of times those bikers, they're tough people to deal with. Like they're in their own zone.
Yeah,
like,
yeah, yeah. They're there
they're
doing
rude people.
on a
But then
mission.
sometimes I get smiles back, and I'm like, yeah, I got
Yeah,
one.
Yep.
And
Amen.
I have to go. It's a reminder to me that I can't depend on anybody else for the energy or the love that I'm looking for.
No.
I gotta go give it. And if I give it, I'll receive it.
shall
And the more that
receive.
I'll do that.
Yes, yes.
And that's just, if I'm feeling it, I have to start being hyper aware. Like that is the name of the game for me. It's like, all right, no sudden decisions. There's like nothing's allowed to happen right now. Like you don't be irrational. There's no need to make decisions or be stubborn or anything like that. Like
Right.
let's start being aware of where things are coming from, because I need to repeel the onion back real quick
Right.
and figure out
Why?
where the problem's at. Once I find the problem, I can put the water of whatever, reminding myself that I'm enough, I'm worthy, I'm lovable, wherever it's going to come. It's the
Right.
same 5, 6 things that come up every single time.
Right.
And then once I put the water back on, we can start resetting on
Amen.
how we're going to do it. And then we're building back. And all of a sudden, we got this energy back again.
And it takes that self-reflection.
Right.
Right. It takes self-awareness.
Mhm.
You know, we can't change anybody else until we change ourselves.
100%.
And I'm a firm believer in that. And I don't want to say preach, but I try to encourage that.
Right.
You know, work on you before you work on anybody else. I had
100%.
to work on. I tell people it was like I didn't love
Right.
me.
Right.
I loved everybody in my circle.
Right.
I was the guy that everybody knew. We
Right.
can count on Ryan.
Right.
Ryan's there. He's down. He's around. But I didn't love me.
Right.
And that's important,
Right.
you know. And I once told a friend of mine who was a therapist, and she said, "It sounds cliche because it's always true.
Right.
Then it's just a fact."
Right.
And it's that saying, you can't love anybody till you love yourself.
Right.
Sorry, but it's true.
It's just that easy.
Have to love yourself.
Just got to figure it
And
out.
I don't mean in a conceited way.
Right.
I mean just loving who you are,
Right.
knowing you are worthy and
Right.
you are enough. And
Because me saying no to you is inadvertently loving me, because
And
I
that's-
have another commitment,
that's okay.
whatever that is, and it's okay.
And it's okay.
And you pissed off, it's okay.
And it's
Like,
okay. You'll be okay.
It'll be okay.
Yeah, you'll be okay
And that-
because I'll be okay
And
at the end of the day.
that goes back to you helping or hurting. And sometimes when you're staying, if I'm being the lighthouse and staying true to my rock, then it's going to inadvertently help you too. So
Period.
therefore, am I helping or hurting? And it
Right.
just goes back to keep playing the game. Are you helping or hurting? Helping or hurting on every decision
Every
that you're
decision.
making, every word that's coming out.
That's good.
And I think that I don't know how this is going to play out because it hasn't happened for me yet. But one day when I'm done here, I get up to the gates. What if, just in my mind, what if, let me be a kid again and daydream on how this is going to work. What if every person I've ever come into contact with flashed in front of me one by one, just for a split second, and I either helped them or hurt them. And if I helped them, I got a feather on my back.
Ay,
And if I
caramba.
hurt them, I got an anchor on my ankle. And at the end of every interaction I've had with this whole world in my time here, I'll either have a full set of wings or have some heavy ass
Some
ankles
shackles, bruh.
Yep.
Tying you to the ground.
to the ground. Where are you gonna go?
Whew. That's a good way to look at it, bro. I was listening to a young lady speak about something similar, and we have to reflect,
Right.
right? And she said, imagine walking into a room, and it's a big room of filing cabinets, and there's only one person that's been in that room the whole time, God, right? And you get to go in, and it's your life, and you get to peek at all the people you hurt, and all the rude comments you've said, and all the people you've helped, and the nice things you said, but
Right.
you get to see every
Right.
single bad
Just the
and good thing
feedback,
you've
yeah.
done. Do you still love yourself? Most of us don't.
Right.
Right? When I think about the horrible things I've done, I'm like, man, you were an ugly person at times, but God still loves us, and He
Yeah.
sees all those things. He's into every filing cabinet, right? So it's just remembering that self-reflection, have grace, but also have a like you said, it's a mentality, a mindset to how can I build from that?
I think like even playing that vision out with you, Like, why would I do that in the first place? And then, like, if you're looking at it from third
That's a
person,
crazy vision, bro, when you
right? Like,
think about it.
why would I do that in the first place? And then, like, what if you got to see it from the outside and you're just like, oh, dude, I was having a fight in my head with my mom about something that was 20 years ago, like.
And it's lingered on and it's
It lingered
built.
on, and I had this resentment still, and I took it
So
out
many
on
things we deal
Joe
with.
Smo, and Joe
Yep.
Smo counted towards my shackles because I
But Joe Schmo had nothing to do.
I was still blaming my mom for something that, like, how could I have fixed that conversation? Just cleared the air.
I have
live free.
a good buddy named John Bacon. Good man, really good man for you to have on. Met him. He's a good man. He told me one time. He said, Ryan, what I've learned is we were in a setting and he picked up some chairs, about that heavy, a little bit lighter than these, and he picked up one. He said, okay, I had a fight this morning with my wife, or he said, let's go back further. I had a fight with my dad that I never cleared up, right, because that was his issues. He said, I put that on. Then I had a fight with another friend or a relative, and I never cleared it up. So by the time, he's like, now let's talk about 30 years later. He's like, now you're hunchbacked and you can't even stand up because you're so weighed down with unresolved conflicts.
Right.
So he said now what he's learned, if he has a fight with his wife, per se,
Fix it.
right away.
Right.
If he has a fight with his boss or his one of his colleagues, right now, right then, as soon as he can, because now he no longer is carrying that. So now at 9 o'clock in the morning, he's not snapping on his boss for something he was fighting with his son about at 6 o'clock in the morning. Right. Because he handled the 6 o'clock situation. So now when 9 o'clock presents itself, he's not still carrying the weight of that 6 o'clock argument with his child, getting ready. So it's something I'm trying to learn, as I'm getting a little wiser.
There's such good ways to look at it, and sometimes we just got to get reminded by even having these conversations. And I think it's important for men to find the time to have the conversations, be vulnerable. Like, I don't care if tears come out. I don't care if the ego comes out. Like, you just address it all as it comes out, and then you can move forward.
I
Because
tell
if
him
you
like
see
this,
it,
bro. You're a lion. I can see it in your eyes because it takes one to know one. But I had a friend. Shout out to my boy Valente. He taught me this, and we were sitting. I know I keep going back to one of the, but my spot was we were sitting in rehab, and he said, "Draw, I can see pain in your eyes."
Right.
I was bawling. Right, I had just lost my brother to an overdose, and we were talking about something. I just started bawling, bro. And he said, "Pain recognized pain, right? But in that pain, I respect what has been built from the pain.
Right.
I'm a dog. I'm a man. I can see another dog or a lion, right? But I'll tell you this much: the strongest I've ever been. Not when I was selling dope at the cartel. Not when I was moving guns and had $50,000 buried in my wallet, 18 years old, driving a brand new car with girls everywhere. The hardest I've ever been was when I was vulnerable and I could stand up and tell people, yeah, I've hurt. Yeah, I've been broken. Yeah, I'm still currently broken. And what? What are you going to tell me? I call it the Marshall Mathers complex. I'm going to tell you what's wrong with me before you can tell me. Right. But I am strong.
Right.
Because it says, for when I am weak, he is strong. So when he is strong, then if I'm built in his image and I am him, because he gave me the power of him, then I am strong. So in my weaknesses have built strength. So I had to remind myself, it's okay. That is where I am strong. I teach my boys, Dad's a banger. Dad can I'll get into the phone booth with anybody. Right. And I promise you 9 out of 10 times I'm coming out of there. That don't make me strong. What makes me strong is being able to express my heart and express my vulnerabilities, because you know what? Who am I to hold those in? I was not going to go to a class, a meeting, and my boy said, "You're a jerk." And I looked at him. I said, "Homie, what? Like, I help. I'm literally the head of these things, bro. I get people amped up, and I'm tired of getting everybody talking, everybody sitting there all bleh, and I'm tired of it, bro." I said, "I'm taking the night off." He said, "You're a selfish jerk." I said, "Homie, after all that I bring to the table," he said, "The fact that you're going to withhold from somebody else, because you don't know, it's not for you. It might be for somebody else, jerk. Just because you're willing to talk and another man's not, he might receive and need what you have." And I said, "All right, let's freaking go." But it's just that mindset. And just like you said, we started having an attitude of gratitude and reminding it's not for us all the time. Might be for somebody else.
100%. That's the service.
That's the servant's heart. Is to remind I tell myself, do you know, scheduling your podcast, it could be on top of everything else. Dad.
It's a hobby, bro.
Lending. Doing everything else you do, right? It takes intention. And with that being said, this is not for us. Now, I love it because there's time I come on today and I'm like, bro, I got fed.
You take that juice.
I got fed. I'm taking this juice home. You know what I'm saying? But it's also, Who else could it be for? We're
Right.
here to serve. We're here to love. I tell people all the time. I'm not here. I don't get religious with people. I'm not trying to tell you what you're doing wrong in your life. That's not my job.
Right.
My job is to love
Right.
people. I just want to love.
It's
There's enough.
exactly.
There's enough hate. There's enough. I just want to love people. That's all I want to do. I just want to love people.
It goes back to you put out what you want to receive back.
Amen. That's and that, you know what? That's it right there. Because I just want to receive love. So that's all. I've been through chaos and toxicity my whole entire life, back and forth, moving from here to there to here to in the system. I just want to love people. I want to help mend the brokenness because I know brokenness,
Mm-hmm.
and that's I feel as I tell people it's kind of our job now.
Right.
I look at it as a job.
Right.
How am I helping or am I hurting?
Helping.
And
100%.
that's it. Ask yourself that, and I'm taking that from this. Like
Right.
Ryan, in your response right now, because you're frustrated with X, Y, and Z, whoever it may be. Like, are you helping or are you hurting? That's why I've gotten so much better at just sometimes just shut the
Right.
freaking big mouth.
Right.
Right, shut up. Right, are you helping or are you hurting?
That's the way to do it. It's like
Shut up.
the affirmation is I only speak when my words bring value. So if what I have to say is not going to bring value to this conversation, I got nothing to say right now, and it's okay.
And you know what? I'm taking that. I'm stealing that. I'm not going to trademark it because I'm gonna make it sound. Of course, this is my saying. Yeah, but in times of conflict,
Right.
we throw bombs.
Right.
I don't care who it's with.
Right.
And it's like I try to teach myself and then teach my children. Like, hey, a lot of the times, it's better to shut up because our words and our tongue is poison. We can use it for good or we can use it for evil. And when we're mad, we're using it for evil.
Right.
And instead of building, we're tearing down. So I'm going to use that, in the moment. My words are not edifying right now. They are not positive. So I'm just going to shut it. And I'm going to put that out there so that
Yeah.
way somebody can understand on the other side. Like,
Right.
he's clearly letting me know
Right.
that he's not bringing any value to this conversation because
And
he's
it's okay.
and that's okay.
Right.
And if they can't respect the boundary that I'm placing,
Right.
because I've learned in life boundaries are very important.
Right.
If they can't respect it, then
It's
that's not it's not
Right.
there's you problems, there's me
Right.
problems, and then there's we problems, right? In a relationship.
Man, it's in the Bible too. Like you don't have to meet a man you don't think you want to know. So like sometimes your energies don't match, and it's okay.
It's okay to shake off your
Right.
boots. It says dust the dirt off your feet,
Right.
and keep it moving. And that's okay.
Right.
That's why I tell people when as I start to sit down for a listing presentation or sit down with some buyers, I want to first find out if we're a fit for one another. I'm not going to be everybody's fit, and that's okay. I'm unapologetically, authentically who I am. That's why when I got my life right and I started wearing I'm a good old boy at heart. Granted, I grew up in some gangster type situations, and I had to have a facade and a mask. This is who I've always been. So who am I going to be now? I'm living my best life. I don't care if you don't like me.
Right.
It's not what I'm here for. I'm not a people pleaser anymore. You're either going to love me or not, because you're going to get me real and raw, whether I'm in the desert loving on somebody cutting their hair or closing a deal.
Right.
You're going to get the raw me.
Right.
And I'm not going to switch up
Right.
who I am. So therefore, this is it. And stop. We're so ingrained to people please. For what? This is the people I want to
Right.
please, me
Right.
and the people in my circle.
Right.
I'm tired, and I've done it so much in my life that now I'm like, hey, you love me or you don't.
Right.
But you get a real version of me. I'm a hardworking dude. I'm a real dude, and I love. Other than that, let's work or let's not.
Right.
I'm not here. I'm not gonna bend for who. No, I've done enough of that my whole
Right.
life. I'm now here to be Ryan. I'm Ryan the Cowboy Realtor is what I've tagged myself with, and whether you like me or not, here
Let's
I am.
go.
You know what I mean? And,
Yeah.
and everybody's not. That's why I tell people, let's see if we're going to be a good fit.
Right.
I'm not a salesman.
Right.
Real estate, I don't have to sell real estate. It
Right.
sells itself.
Right.
I'm here just to essentially guide you along the journey. Make sure your paperwork, make sure you are protected.
Right.
I'm not here. I'm not going to be the salesy dude.
No.
I'm not a car salesman. I was a car salesman. Even when I was
Right.
a car salesman and a motorcycle salesman for a little bit, I still like, bro, I'm not here to
Right.
be that guy. Do you
Yeah.
like it or not? No, you
Right.
don't. Okay, let's go find something else.
Right.
I'm not. Oh, we have so many great. Shut up. I don't
Right.
care. I'm not that dude. And I'm not for everybody. And that's okay. I'm okay with that. I don't need to be for
Let's
everybody.
go. Ladies and gentlemen, Ryan Collins in the house, man. Who would have known just coming out with with truth and fire, and for what is his truth, to share his spirit, his energy, his love, the vulnerability. I think that is a beautiful thing to be around. I don't have to over introduce this man because you got to feel it first yourself. Ryan, I appreciate you being here, man.
Man, it was an honor and a blessing, my brother. I encourage you to keep doing what you're doing. We love y'all. Stay tuned. We'll see you guys around.